evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. It's Dr. Janice Hooker Fortman with another episode of Relationship Matters. I hope everyone is doing well. I hope everyone is staying safe. We here in the United States have a new president, and we have the first African American Asian woman vice president. So relationships do matter. Tonight, I'm going to bring to you an awesome person, an awesome doctor that I met maybe about maybe about 2.5 years ago. And I was so impressed by her. I said, I must have you on my show because you have a story, you have a journey that everyone should hear. Now, this quarter, my theme is purpose and passion. And that's what we're going to talk about with Dr. Marlena Sherwood Linton. So let me tell you a little bit about her. And this is what she says, and I love it. Become a better, stronger you when you align your purpose and passion. I want you all to remember that. Let me tell you just a little bit about Dr. Marlena. Promoting purpose and passion in every step of her journey. Dr. Marlena, a sepsis infection survivor, knows what it takes to fight back from the dead. Literally. Having spent 11 weeks on life support and being hospitalized for 6 months, she is a real walking miracle. She's a beautiful walking miracle. Learning to walk, talk, and write all over again, she set out to understand her purpose for surviving such a near death medical complication when most do not. Feeling the need to do more, Dr. Marlena is now committed to helping those individuals who are searching for their identity and self-worth to live out their purpose and their passion. So, what I want to do right now is bring to you Dr. Marlena.
Thank you
Hi,
so much. Hello, Dr. Jan. How are you today?
I am doing great. How are you doing?
I'm fabulous. I'm fabulous every day because I am still here.
Yes, 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 yes. You are like, look, God woke us up this morning
Yes. Amen.
and he's saying, do what you can to stay healthy and stay alive.
Absolutely. Today is a gift. Today is a present. And so I'm going to rejoice in it. And I do that every day. Now I go to bed totally exhausted, but I get up the next day ready to do it all over again.
But it's a good exhaustion, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I just talked a little bit about you, but I want you to fill in the gaps.
Sure, sure. I got to that age like right before 40, and my nest started emptying. And the career, I've been in HR for over 30 plus years. And so the career just wasn't doing it for me anymore. My husband and I were serial entrepreneurs, so he had his own business going on. So I kind of lost, not even kind of, I lost my identity. And being this HR director, my role was to make sure that everything was always in control. So I decided to control my destiny, and what I decided to have a baby. And I said, because the baby's going to love me, and I'll have someone to take care of, and I'll have that identity, and I'll be that. again, kind of thing. And but my last child, I had a tubal, and so I went to see the reproductive surgeon, and he said,
Okay,
"Sure,
wait,
you're."
wait, wait, wait. You said it had a tubal?
Yeah, tubal ligation. So I would know. So after I have four sons. So after the fourth one, I was like, "That's it, I'm done." So permanently done. I don't. And so I went and had a tubal ligation, and
Okay,
so I get to this juncture where almost 40, I wanted this baby. I go to the reproductive specialist, and he said, "Sure, modern medicine, we can reconnect and do whatever." But then he said, "But." And okay, but we never want that but, right?
right.
He said, but I need you to lose 75 to 100 pounds. And again, being that HR director who's quick on my feet, thinking fast, oh, no problem. Have the gastric bypass, lose a ton of weight, create my destiny for myself. Then I'd be able to have this baby. Um, well, God had another plan. So I found out real quick. Yeah.
So you said God had another
He
plan.
had another plan.
Okay, so tell me about his plan.
Well, I raised up in the church, so I always knew I was where I'd spend eternity. What
Okay,
I didn't plan for were the complications because it wasn't supposed to happen to me. And isn't that how life is for us? We go through life, and then the things that happen, we're like, why is that happening to me? Because it's not supposed to.
right. Why
So,
me?
why me? So,
Hmm.
and I'm going through this journey, and I'm like, when I went in for the surgery, I was like, 6 weeks, and have the surgery, couple days, 6 weeks, I'm back on my feet. I'm going through life. I'm creating my destiny. That's the whole point. I was trying to be in charge instead of
Okay,
surrendering to who really is in charge. But you know, I was the control freak in me, right? Got to control it. Got to make sure it's always aligned, always in order. And when anything is not in order, I was freaking out about it.
okay.
And so I get
Yeah.
I get to 6 weeks from the consultation to being on the table, and like you said in your opening, I did code on the table. So near death was actually, for moments, I was in death, if you want to say it. I'll say it that way.
Okay.
And coded twice on the operating table. When I did regain consciousness, I was strapped to the hospital bed. I hear this machine
Hmm.
is breathing for me. I'm on the ventilator, and I wake to find out I've been in a coma for 80 days.
Oh my goodness. 80 days?
Yeah, so that's like falling asleep now and waking up almost
Oh my goodness.
in March. Yeah, 80 days. I had
Oh my
been in
goodness.
11 weeks and 3 days. Now, as I've gone on the journey, I found that 11 weeks and 3 days had a significance for me. But at that time, I didn't. And I had to learn to live life all over. Instead of controlling it, I had to learn it, how to live it all over.
Dr. Marlena, look, I just want to go back a little bit.
Mhm.
You said you coded.
Yeah.
Why?
So in the process of getting the surgery for the gastric bypass, the way that works is they move your intestines, your stomach. They shortcut your bowel system. Put it that way,
Okay.
to where it dumps quickly, and so you don't really absorb food as you would normally. And so when they did the connection for the reroute, it didn't get a good blood supply. And so it started dying off. So sepsis is, from my understanding, my research, it's like a form of blood poisoning, if you will, for lack of a better
Okay.
technical
Okay.
medical
Okay.
terminology. And so my organs started shutting down. So I actually had kidney failure. I lost half of my stomach. It died off. They had to remove half of my stomach. I lost a foot of my intestines. These are not things that can grow back. So it was truly, truly on. Again, I say when I coded, I was so diseased. My body was so diseased to the day they did my third surgery. I believe it was the third surgery. They didn't even give me 50-50 or 70-30. They told my family that if she doesn't have this surgery, she'll die. And of course, I was out. I was
Yeah.
unconscious at that time, and he said, if she doesn't have it, she just won't make it. So my family consented to it. Again, it wasn't a question of where I'd spend my spirit would live, because they were all good with that. They said, hey, we know where that's going to happen, but what will we do for her? What's best for her? So they signed for the surgery. Surgeon, gives no odds, says it has to be done. It was a long, long, lengthy surgery. He comes out. They said he looked like he had been ridden hard and put away wet.
Okay.
And they said, well, how is she? He said, well, if she makes it 48 hours, we'll see. He didn't think I'd make it. And he told me that himself when I finally woke up down 80 some days later. He did tell me, yeah, I didn't think you'd make it. He said, I don't know what God you serve. He said, but I did all that I could. And he said, I didn't think you'd make it. And
Oh
and
my
I
goodness.
and I said, what I realized at that time, it wasn't in his hands.
Right.
He was the instrument, but my destiny wasn't in his hands. And I really didn't understand at that point, still strapped to the hospital bed, unable to walk, that, and it's amazing how in such a short time your muscles atrophy. The way,
Okay.
I'm thinking, when they said they're going to get me up to walk, and I'm thinking they're going to teach me to walk, and I'm just like, I know how to walk. I've been walking since as a baby. And then they said, no, you have to learn to live life all over again. And that's what I set
Wow.
out to do. I set out to understand why, like I said, on people who had far less situations perished, and I was still here. Yeah.
Wow. Oh my gosh. So, whoo, I want to show something here right quick, and then we're going to get in talking about something.
Okay.
So, yeah, I want to show something right quick. I just wanted to show that right quick.
Yes. Yes.
Because we're talking about purpose and passion.
Yes.
And when you came out of your surgery, so many people give up.
Yeah.
What kept you going?
Now I'll admit I was close to it, because it's not pleasant being strapped. Let me tell you, the hospital is cold. The nurses are sweet, but they're there to do a job. And I'm strapped to this hospital bed. The person who used to be in charge now has to submit to everybody else. So it
Okay.
wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. And before I get off to go into that story too much, can I answer Marcy's question? Marcy, she's asking what happened to Marcy. Let me tell you, Marcy, I am a true walking miracle. So just hang in there with us, and I'm going to let you know. So, so that was the point when you have to have a mentor, a coach, someone that's gone before you that can say, hey, hold on, not having it. Not having it. I need you to get out of that mind state of mind and come on for the journey. The first one for me was a nurse.
Okay.
She came in, and I was starting to have that pity party, because let me tell you, my situation was still dire for weeks. When I woke up, tubes everywhere, still on the ventilator, could not breathe on my own. Every time they tried to turn it down, they couldn't wean me off. They had to turn it back up to support me. I was left open. I had had so many surgeries where they'd gone in and out. They left me open, and they put this thing like surgical saran wrap around. But when I looked down, I could see inside, like opening a pizza box and looking in at yourself. And so I was still in this dire condition, on the life support of all these functions. So the nurse was the first one. She said, "But you're alive to me." She said, "Stop throwing this pity party." She said, "You made it. Now what you do with it is up to you, and of course God, but you got to have the mindset." And the second was my godmother. She was my prayer warrior. She said, "Let me get you back into a state of mind where you're not just seeing what's right in front of you, that you can begin to see." And I love your border because it's the universe. You can begin to see the universe. And we always put God into boxes. He opens a window, he closes the door. No, it's much more than that. It's what you, and I knew this. It wasn't something I didn't know. But in the heat of the moment, we don't practice what we know. We go back to that woe is me mindset. And she said, God has now opened the universe to you. You need to understand why.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where purpose came into play.
All right. Okay. And that was my next question about your purpose. So, how did you get to your purpose?
I got to my purpose on a long journey. I got to my
Okay.
I got to my purpose because, again, I just knew that I was here and I was destined for something greater. And I went internal at that point. After the nurse and after my godmother, I went internal, and I was like, God, I believe in you. Your son is my savior. Reveal to me why did you keep me here? And he showed me my childhood dreams. He showed me as a child what I was playing, what I wanted to do, how we played church, or we played teacher, or we played whatever we were. He brought back to my memory my visions from being a child. And he says, it's not old. I have a gift of praying, laying hands and praying. And I used to do it when I was a kid, but as I
Oh,
became a
did you?
teenager, yeah,
Oh my goodness.
yeah. And my earliest memory, healing, praying for someone and them being healed, I was about 5. It's my earliest memory. I've been told that I did it a little before that, but 5 is that memory, where a woman in our church had surgery and she barely could move and get out of her bed. And my grandmother and I had gone to visit her. And I asked her, "Can I pray for you?" She said, "You want to pray for me?" And I said, "Sure." And I remember laying hands on her and praying for her, and she got instant relief.
Oh my
And she said,
goodness.
"Oh my God, I don't have that." And like I said, as a child, but as I became a teenager and didn't understand the gift, started shying away from it because I wanted to fit in and be normal like everyone else. And I know now that I'm designed to be different, but I didn't get that. And so I tapped back into that, and then I started reading.
Okay.
And not just the Bible. The Bible is my basic instruction before leaving this earth. So I get it. Everything I need to know is in there. But I also started reading self-help books, if you will, self-development books, started understanding how my mind works, that some of the baggage that I was carrying that got me on that operating table actually wasn't even from me, from my deeds, and it was past generational. Some of it occurred when I was in the womb, but how all that began, how all that works in our spirits. And so the journey became, I would read, I'd write, someone would mentor me, and I'd get to the next level. And just as I thought I'd get complete understanding, the next staircase would open on the journey.
Oh my goodness. So I want to ask you this question. What is the definition of purpose? What is that? What does that mean?
Now, I'm not going to look in the textbook because I have my
No,
own
no.
definition.
Yeah, I want your
My
definition.
definition: purpose is that fire that's in your spirit that you cannot let go of. You try to diminish it. You try to not walk in it. You try not to let it be a part of you. When you discover what your why is, like, why did God put me here? He put me here to help others get to their destiny, to get to what goal he has for them, to have a clearer mindset about principles and practices. And my gifts are faith and administration. So when I understand what that means. I can't just sit on it. So that's my purpose, is what fuels my passion. I can't just sit on. So my definition is that fire that's shut up in my bones and I have to move on. That's what purpose is.
Girl, you're gonna make me break out this song. Just like fire, just shut up in my bones.
Yeah, yeah. And that's what it is. It's that fire to where, many times I'll be in a situation and I'll have a mindset of what I want to say and how I want to say it. And God comes in, and because I'm being obedient, I said, use me. I'm a vessel, and he uses me. And until I go through that process or come to that fruition on whatever it is, I don't I don't even order the steps. I don't even know how to explain it. That's what that passion is. That's what the purpose is. That fuels my passion. That when I get to the passion part, it's no other way I'd live. My passion is my peace.
All
And
right.
yeah.
Oh my goodness. And you know what? Some people get that mixed up
Mm-hmm.
as far as your passion
Yeah.
and your purpose.
Yeah.
And I see you mesh them
Yeah.
together.
Yeah,
You
I'm on
mesh,
fire because of both of them. You know,
okay.
I know many times we follow our passion and it leads us to our purpose. But for me, when I'm walking in my purpose, when I'm laying hands or if I'm praying, I have a ministry where I call it a presence ministry. On Zoom, I just sometimes just sit in the room and my clients just need somebody to sit in the room with them. But I'm
Okay.
sitting in the room but my energy is really, we work off of energy.
Yes.
So your energy, my energy, and we're on the same accord. The synergy is like you can't contain that, and that's where you get to live the passion. That's where that passion is there, and it's contagious. You cannot be in a room with me for very long and
I'm
come
with
in
it.
there and be sad or be down or be frustrated. Now you might go back out and be all those things, but my God's given me this gift that he illuminates me to change the atmosphere.
So now a lot of people ask that question, no, what is my purpose? Why am I here?
Mhm.
Now you had to go through something really kind of traumatic to
Yeah,
really know
yeah.
what your purpose is. But what about people who still ask that question? I mean, they can be 40, 50, 60, and someone asks them, well, what is your why? What is your purpose? And they will tell you, I don't know. I don't know why I'm here. What so
It's funny you say it. I ran from mine for a long time. That's why, and I'm not saying he afflicted me, but I'm saying because I ran from my purpose for so long, he did something to get my attention.
okay.
At first
Right.
it was a major car accident I walked away from in 2095. Broke my leg in two places, had to be cut out of the car. My son was a baby, about 13 months. He was in the back seat. Only little thing he got was a little his car seat seat belt pulled him, and he got a little mark on his neck right there from where it restrained him. I of course was transported away to the hospital with this broken leg, but really walked away from that, still not understanding. God was saying, "Look, I'm trying to get you back in alignment with your purpose."
I had to put this back on there.
Yes, he was not through with me.
I
You know,
had to put that
you
back
know,
on there.
and
Yes.
it's fun, and it's amazing because at the time I was driving and the accident happened. My husband was in the car behind us. We were going to look at a house to purchase a house, and he said after we finished, he was going to play basketball. So I was driving with my son. We were going across. He was behind us, and this is how it's all divinely orchestrated. A car passed between the accident and my husband's vision. He didn't see us. get hit. Now, that alone would have been traumatic, watching his child and his wife get hit and wrapped around this pole. He didn't see it. So and then the to again, I have pictures of that car wrapped around the car. The steering wheel's on the other side of the car. I get pulled out of that. I still didn't understand that why I was here. I'm still going through with life, and life was not. We want to say sometimes we have to hit rock bottom. I hit rock bottom spiritually because I kept trying to fix it instead of going to the master. I kept trying to put my hand in it. Now, you asked the question. I'm going to answer the question about purpose. We already know what our purpose is. We're born with the purpose, but we get distracted from all of the shiny, bright things of life, the ups and downs and everything of life. That's why I was saying when I was a kid, I knew what I wanted to be. I had an idea of what I wanted to be and how I wanted to do it. And I let life get in the way. And one of the things I know sitting here today is that we have everything we need. That's what my ministry, my purpose, my programs, my systems, everything directs the individual back to discovering what they already have and how to get quiet enough that you can hear that voice, because God doesn't speak to us in a big booming voice. He speaks to us in that small little voice that we have to. This is why it's so important to read our word. It's and study on it. Bring in and you know the Bible isn't the only inspired writings. When God gives us a message and we produce it, we've been inspired. So that's a completed book that we use as our foundational piece. So we can go and fact check this stuff that comes through life. But man is still inspired today. And so as he gives inspiration, he's giving me this inspiration to write Rediscovering Your Destiny, because we're not listening to that voice that he's already saying. He's already there. He's already put it there. And it helps you to quiet all the noise and all the distractions so we can hear what he's saying to us as individuals.
And, I started thinking, while you were talking, about I did a presentation once, and it's called "Are You Listening?"
Mm-hmm.
And when I started out and I started talking to the people, I kept saying, "Are you listening? Are you listening?"
Mm-hmm.
And they thought it meant, were they listening to me?
Right,
And
right.
I'm like, no, are you listening to the universe?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're right. It is there. Your purpose
Yeah,
is there. And
yeah.
I asked the question, when you were a kid,
Mm-hmm.
what were the things that you really loved to do? You
Mm-hmm.
know, uh, for girls that, you might have loved to just play in hair, or
Mm-hmm.
you like to draw, or
Yeah,
you even like to take things apart and put them back together again.
yeah.
All of that. So when you
All
say
of it.
that you're really born with it,
Mm-hmm.
uh, I, and you're right, it is there. When I was a kid, you know what I loved to do? Play school.
Yeah,
I never wanted to be the student. I always wanted to be the
absolutely.
teacher.
Yeah.
And when I look back over my life as like a teenager,
Mm-hmm.
I was tutoring and then a young adult, and it's always been about teaching,
Absolutely.
about educating. And that's what I love to do.
Yes.
I love to educate. I love to
Yes.
teach.
Yeah.
And I really do believe that's my purpose and that's my passion.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to show this because um, this person says your purpose is that fire
Mm-hmm.
within your spirit that you cannot
I
extinguish.
love that. I'm gonna repurpose that. I'm telling you now. I like that.
The fire that is shut up in your bones.
Yes.
When you get to your passion can
Yeah.
be your peace,
Right. That's right.
equaling energy, synergy. and synergy. You cannot contain.
That's
It's contagious. It
absolutely.
just says Facebook user, but thank you, thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to repurpose that you get it. Let me just say that you really get it, because that is what it is. It's a fire that, I hate to put it this way, but I'm going to say it anyway. I was born for the season that we're in, because there are many people hurting right now. There are many people who are in circumstances and situations where they're shut in, and they're feeling that, that they can't connect, they can't get out. They're just not, they're in despair. And I was born for this season to say, you don't have to stay in that situation. Even if you're in your home and you can't go out, you can take care of self, for example.
Yeah,
Light up, fill up that bathtub, put some candles all
thank
around.
you.
Put a sign on the door, say, or if you have kids, maybe the ones you have to, if they're baby, put it that way. Put the baby in the car seat and put them in the room with you, in the bathroom. But I'm saying, take some time to just woosah, just take that time to breathe, and close your eyes and imagine being where you really want. Is it on an island somewhere? Is it at the spa? Being whatever. We can do that, and our minds are designed that way. And that's what I'm teaching people right now, how to still be in the moment, but also survive this moment. Right now, we're survivors. Every single one of us, as we stand or sit or lay or here right now, we're surviving. We've survived 100% of everything that's been thrown at us.
Mm-hmm,
And we've survived.
mm-hmm.
And now we're only promised today, because today is
Right.
all we can really manage. Tomorrow will take care of itself. Now you need to have a vision for tomorrow, because without a vision, a man or woman perishes. But right now, take control of what you can control, and it's right here. It's right here in your mind, and it's in your heart. So, and like I said, I'm born for this season to help and not help. I don't help. Excuse me. I don't help. I'm being
Okay.
honest. I don't help. I
Okay.
empower, support, and inspire. I don't
Well,
help.
all right.
You got to do it yourself. I'm a discoverist in the sense where I will help you discover, but you have to do the work. So
Okay. You are on fire.
I'm on fire.
You on fire. And I hate to leave, but I gotta do a quick commercial,
Okay.
a couple of them,
Okay.
and we will be right back with Dr. Marlena.
All right.
Well, we are back with Dr. Marlena. Oh my goodness gracious, my goodness gracious. And I just wanted to put this on here. Um,
I love these.
get quiet to hear his voice.
Mm-hmm.
That small voice that
Oh,
he
boy.
gives you information to rediscover your destiny.
Oh, yes, yes, absolutely.
Are you listening? Are you listening to the universe? And um, Brenda Tucker Jeffrey says, it's never too late to
Never.
follow your dreams.
Absolutely.
And Brenda and I are in the over 50 group
Me too. Me too. Me too.
and uh, over 60 group and over 70 group. That's me. Over 70 group getting ready to be 80 in December. But and I'm following my dream. And I tell people, it's never too late to
Never.
follow your dream. It's never too late to find your why, to follow your passion, to follow your purpose. So, Dr. Marlena, why do you think it's important for people to live out their purpose?
Because you keep seeking what it is that hasn't been fulfilled, and you'll keep replacing that what it is with something else. My comfort was food and travel. So instead of following and trying to discover what my purpose was, I ran from it. And Marcy, this is why I ran from it. Marcy, the young lady here asked, why did I run for so long? Because it made me be different than everybody else. So if you walk in, and as a young 20ish woman, uh, you're following Christ, and a lot of my friends were out partying.
Okay.
And my mom was, well, before I left home, I got married at 25 the first time. So up until that time, my parents were like, you come live here, there won't be any of that. You're going to get up every Sunday and you're going to be going to church and you're going to be doing all this stuff. And I didn't want to do it. I'll be honest. It's not that I didn't want to do it. It was like, I wanted to have a good life. I wanted to party and do all that stuff. But here's the funny thing. When I was able to party and do all that stuff, I didn't want to do it.
Okay.
It was funny. It was something I thought I couldn't wait to do. And then when I was at the legal age or the opportunity, it was like, oh, but then it was the next thing. It's some things that I did not come to understand until I'm 56. I didn't understand some of this until I was in my 50s. Now, even having gone through this near death experience and being on the journey for 14, 15 years trying to understand why it wasn't an overnight discovery. It was 15 solid years of searching and trying to understand, why am I here? What is my purpose? I had to learn more. I had to experience more. You would think I had experienced a lot at that time. I was on husband number 2, 4 kids, worked, seeing all different walks of life in my corporate career, and still didn't just get, because I wasn't being quiet.
Okay.
I was
Okay.
running. I was trying to control it, and that was it. I was trying to make it be what I thought consciously it should be. So, until I finally surrendered and got quiet and said, I'll just be obedient to, being strapped to that hospital bed and with nowhere to go. Um, Watching TV is a bad thing, because there was all kind of things coming up on the TV that if you take this pill, all these things fall off and drop off and happen.
Yes.
I'm in the hospital taking all this medication they're giving me. So I'm really getting all this crazy stuff going on. It's like, mental wise for myself. Being afraid that, it's true. Sundowners, when the sun started going down, and let me just put it so, I hadn't been out of the house, outdoors. I went in the hospital on for my surgery on June 25th. I didn't wake up until September
Oh my goodness.
17th. And so I had not been outside. I had not had sunlight on my body, on my face. And I was in the hospital up until December. So somewhere around Thanksgiving time, my physical therapist, because every day I would still, even though I was trying to get better, I would get that, feeling. She put me
Mm.
in a wheelchair and she rode me around the parking lot of the hospital. We were dodging cars, but we said we were dodging cars. But she took me outside instead of walking that day, or you know, walking. She took me out, actually outside, so I could get some sunlight. We take for granted that
Yes.
we get sunlight. We
Yeah.
take for granted that we can get up and go to the door. If we can't even go in, we can open the door and look. And these things do play tricks on your mind. I have clients that have tested positive, and when they're going through some of their COVID moment, the isolation is what has them in the psychosis with their mind. And while my work is not clinical, I'm a
Yeah. Okay.
complementary health provider. Um, but when I'm talking to them from that perspective of presence, they're saying, look, Dr. Marlena, the one thing that's driving me crazy, I can get through the coughing and that, all of that, but I feel shut in. I can't get sunlight on my face. Go open the window. Oh, what? Yeah. Open the window and stand there. So again, we have to look for alternative things because we will get so focused and
Yeah.
bogged down on the little bitty part of it. And that's what I did for so long. I just kept trying to control, kept telling them I wanted to be this way. I wanted a girl, so I had another child. So I ended up with 4 boys, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to control. I'm not going to have any more. Huh?
I'm going to have a girl.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm not going to have any more. Then, like I said, it was 7 years from the time I had the last boy to finally say, well, I'm going to have this baby to, kind of right the ship. So I was all over the place instead of being focused on what I had and being thankful for what I had. Um, I was all over the place. But then I felt guilty because I had such a great life. And many people would tell me, oh my God, I trade places with you anytime, or, you have a great life. But then I felt bad because I did have a great life. And then I didn't feel like I should have been complaining, or I should have the right to, fill the void that I was feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so that took on a whole life of its own. So that it was multiple reasons why I was running from my purpose until I've got that dead stop and said, okay, look, you've hit bottom, but because God being who He is, He was at the bottom with me. I was not alone. He can
No,
say,
he
okay,
was
now
not.
do I have your attention? Are we going to go forth in this? And He sent the mentors into my life at the time that my eyes were wide open, and I was able to say yes. Yes, I'm going to go forth. I'm going to diminish who I am, and I'm going to tap into what you have, and I'm going to hang on until the end. And I mean, almost immediately, the mindset shifted and the heart shifted, and then the real work happened. So, like an iceberg, we only see the tip of it, but it was the bottom part that got the Titanic, right? So that was the journey. So the 15 years was the journey to get to where I am now. But there's so much more to do because we learn something new every day.
Every day,
Every
every
day.
day,
Mhm.
every day. And
Mhm.
so the Facebook user says that they are solar powered,
Yeah,
couldn't live without the sun. And,
absolutely.
and vitamin D is vital for our health
Yeah,
and our emotional health. And,
absolutely.
absolutely, because I have a friend who never went out, hardly ever went out in the
Mhm.
sun, never took vitamin D supplements. And now she's ending up, she has had to have a hip replacement, she knee, back, and a lot of it. And I kept telling, I said, well, so why do you have to have another hip replacement?
Mhm.
And she reminded me, remember I told you I went to the doctor and they couldn't find any vitamin D
Wow.
in my
Mhm.
body whatsoever.
Right, right.
And that's so I have this degenerative bone disease, and it all has to do with vitamin D. You got to get out in the sun. I mean,
Absolutely.
why do you think the sun is there?
And also, and on top of that, the vitamin D, because of our browner skin, doesn't absorb. Now, you can fact check that, but that's what I've
Right.
been
No, that's the
told.
truth.
Yeah, yeah. So, because of our browner skin, we don't absorb it anyway. So, we have to
Right.
take a supplement or get it that way.
Right.
But we have to start with the baseline. And the baseline is where we need to start with everything. Get out. Get
Yeah.
Go to the window, open the window. If you can't get out, open the window. We tend to want to make things complicated. We even have a category in Facebook, right? On relationship, on our social media, we have the category complicated. When things really aren't complicated, we need to make them just really basic and simple and just shift back into that mindset.
Now, let's talk a little bit about your book.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes. We got about 10 minutes left, so let's talk about your book. Yes, tell
Yes.
us about your book.
Well, the book is, again, rediscovering your destiny. It's not about me, but it is about me because I take you on my journey and I ask you to come along on my road, on my walk, and how that looks for you. Somewhere along the line, you're where you got to where you were stuck, or you felt this void, or you were unpleasantly surprised of where you ended up in life, and you were like, what do I do as that next step? And again, being the mindset development expert, my doctoral degree is in management. And what I did for the corporations is manage large scale transformation. So I took all those principles and came up with principles to help the individual shift, like I did in the organization, shift the organization, shift this organization. And it's a guide. It's a guide. There's work for you to do in it as we go along. What mask do you wear? My mask was fine and okay. So no matter when you saw me, I could be racked with pain, and I'd just say, they'd say, "Well, Marlene, how are you?" Fine, I'm okay. Always, but I was anything but that. So I ask you to look at what mask do you wear. What is your mask of choice? Now, masks in themselves are not bad. It's when
Mhm.
we stay behind any one too long, and we forget where the mask ends and we begin. So we start there, and we start peeling back like an onion. We start
Mhm.
peeling those layers back on your life as you go through my journey.
Okay. Well, I think it's hard for people to come from behind that mask
Yes,
because that mask, I think, and me, I think about it too, it's a form of protection.
yes,
you
yeah.
know let me stay behind this mask, whatever it is, that the happy mask,
Mhm, mhm.
but is inauthentic. It's not.
Absolutely.
It's not authentic. Now, where can we get your book?
You get the immediate copy, the e-copy on Amazon. You just
Uh-huh.
put in "Rediscovering Your Destiny," or
Mhm.
you put in my full name, Dr. Marlena Sherman Linton.
Mhm.
You can get that copy right away. Or if you want I do have paperback and a hard copy. You can just drop yeah, a DM into I'm on Facebook, Marlena Sherman Linton, and I will give you all the instructions to get a hard copy, or either a paperback or a hard copy. Let me tell you the beauty of life. So 15 years I was trying to write it. I wrote this book so many times over the 15 years. I'd stop, I started, stop. I finally got to a point where I finished the writing part, but I wanted my forward done by my pastor, my shepherd.
Okay.
And so I gave it to him. And he said, okay, I'm going to have to read it. And I gave him the work because I have a workbook and all of that. And he finished it. And he came to me and he said, his words, I'm going to not tear up this time. His words, go forth because the people need it. And I said, oh, wow, that's, great. Let me tell you, it meant so much more to me. No sooner than he gave me the book, we got it published, we got it out. My pastor his assignment was finished here, and he wanted
Oh,
to
oh,
be worried.
oh my goodness.
And so on that I stepped. Now I was already stepping out on what God said, but when He said go forth, the people need it. Um, the back, whew,
Yes.
the wind was at my back, and I was pushed forward, and I haven't stopped a day since.
Oh my goodness.
Walking 100% in what I do. And to anyone that will listen, I will tell my story to, and how I came over. I got over through the Lord, and we're together we can move forward. So yeah,
Oh my goodness. My
yeah,
goodness gracious. And now Marcy had asked a question earlier, and I wanted to get to
yes,
it before we left.
yeah.
Uh,
She had asked the question about my vital organs.
yeah, yeah, I was trying to find it.
So
Yeah.
here's the thing about life. At the time, of course, I didn't know they failed because I was in a coma. I was on the elevator going down because those of you that are in healthcare, I had to have a line put back in for I didn't eat anything for 6 months, so they had the line in my arm for the total NLP, total nutrition.
Hmm.
So it had to come out of one arm, and they were going to put it into the other. And I get on the elevator, and the guy looks at me, and he says, "Oh, Mom," he said, "Wow, you're the woman I did dialysis for." And I was like, dialysis? I'm thinking those are people with kidney failure with dialysis.
Right.
And so I didn't even know that I had kidney failure until he said that. And then I asked, what else did I have? And long story short, I did get the medical records, and I read my medical records. Fatty liver, again, half a stomach gone, foot of intestines, you name it, every blood pressure, high blood pressure, everything that could fail.
Failed.
So that's how I know I'm a walking miracle, because I sit here right now with none of that. They reversed the bypass because you can't have half a stomach gone and a missing foot of
Yeah.
intestines and have a gastric bypass. And it's funny that the nurse, I'm telling on myself, the nurse who said I was having the pity party, really it was having the pity party because they told me they reversed the bypass. So I had gone through all of that. And then what do you mean I'm not going to lose the weight? so life still happens even when life has happened. But I did lose 122 pounds. I've kept 85 of those pounds off now for what did we in 16 years, completely off. My I have no problems whatsoever. My
Look,
organs,
I'm going to say that's another show.
yes, no blood pressure, no nothing. I
Won't
am
he do
truly
it?
a walking miracle.
Won't he do it?
He'll do it every
Won't he
single
do it?
time.
Won't he do it? Won't
Every
he do it?
single time.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness,
yeah.
Dr. Marlena, I, you know, even though we see each other every now and then, online or whatever, it's just I love your story.
Thank
I
you.
love your journey. I love your journey.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much for coming on. And now I'm going to put this back on here because if people want to get in contact with you,
Yes.
they can go to drmarlena360.com.
Yes. There you go.
Everybody see
Absolutely.
that? If you want to find out your purpose and you want to get it from Dr. Marlena,
Absolutely.
then
My calendar's
you
there. It's pop in and come in. Let's have a chat just like this. I like it on Zoom, and we'll can talk or just sit or whatever your spirit needs. Thank
and
you.
because we have Miss Marcy Hill, who has been really paying attention and making comments, and she has participated more. What I want to do for Marcy is for you to send me a copy of your book, or the e-copy, whichever one. And Marcy, put your information into DM me on Facebook.com on Relationship Matters. And I will get in contact with you and we will get you
I'm
a
gonna send
book.
her the hard copy because I want her to write in the. You see, my own book, and I have notes in it. So
Okay.
I want you to write in it notes. Yes,
All right. All right. Thank you.
absolutely.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Dr.
you,
Marlena.
Dr. Jan.
Uh,
Thank you for
uh,
having me.
oh, it's just been a pleasure. You have been so inspirational. I just don't know what to say. But anyway, I want you to have the rest of your day or evening be blessed.
No, thank you so much.
And
And you
and
too.
and thank you again.
All right.
So now, if you would like to be a guest on my show, if you'd like to advertise just and increase your visibility, you can contact us at 1-877-677-7325 or go to Jan for now 125 at gmail.com. That's Jan for now 125 at gmail.com. Tune in again next week because we are still going to talk about power and purpose. I want to thank all of you all again for coming in, tuning in, and I will see you again next week. Remember, all relationship matter, and there are all kinds of relationship matters. Bye bye.